Hello. It's been 4 years. Things have changed. We have 2 dogs now. Hi, Pearl. Hi, Mia. I think that's a street sweeper. If you can hear that noise. Also, I had a baby. Please ignore whatever's going on back there. My grandmother used to have a magnet that was like, a clean house is the sign of a life ill spent or something. I can't even be bothered to remember what the magnet said, from which I apparently take my life's inspiration. So I'm definitely not going to clean whatever that is off my counter. For sure, no. Anyway, welcome. I'm trying a new thing. Monday is the day of the week when I have several consecutive hours of peace and quiet in my home. So I've also deleted all of my social media. Cheers. And I'm not really on Ravelry in like a community way. If you are, cheers. Yeah. But I think my husband's getting bored of hearing about all my whips. And I don't have a lot of friends that I apparently talk to off of social media, which is not an indictment of them. It is an indictment of me and my inability to string 2 thoughts together for someone other than my child that are anything except, do you want to watch Curious George? Will you sit in the chair while you watch it? So I don't have anyone to talk to. So I'm going to talk to you, Internet, in the style of Artifacts of Appreciation, Lindsay has a real name, Lindsay's Quarter Past podcast. I don't know what we'll call it now. Certainly not Quercus Fiber Co. It was good of me to have a dream. I'm awake now. We'll call it like Monday Musings or Monday Mumbles. I don't know. So, welcome. There will be no show notes. I do not have it in my spirit to edit this, so that's not happening. This is just probably 15 to 20-ish minutes of rambling thoughts. Sorry. There goes my tea. So I... WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get. So with that, I am very recently getting my knitting mojo back after like 15 months of not giving a hoot about knitting at all, which was kind of nice. I mean, like a little boring, but kind of nice to take a proper break. My daughter was an infant, and I had other stuff going on, and so it was nice to. There was just no pressure from any side to do anything about it. So a lot of stuff languished, and everything you will see today is fresh. So I'm enjoying my knitting. It is 100,000 degrees in Chicago right now, which is where I am podcasting from. So this, what you see, are the colors that garbage? This is purple. This is a lovely purple yarn. It's a Viola sock from 100 million years ago. Rest in peace, Viola Yarn Co. I miss them. And yeah, this is the Mount Pleasant tee from, I don't remember. It is definitely the Mount Pleasant tee, though. Mount Pleasant tee shirt. With probably my normal modifications, which is to say it had a higher neckline, and I lower it by just, when you split it's bottom up, it has this lovely little lace detail. You knit to the armpits and where you split, and then begin knitting a front and a back, as you do sometimes when you knit in a bottom-up tee. I just knit for a shorter distance between wherever the bottom of the armpit is and then where it tells you to begin the nonsense for the neckline. And then when I'm done with the neckline, it's like, okay, we'll just knit one side and then the other side to the shoulder. I just knit that farther. So there's more of this and less of this. I hope that made some sense. It makes sense to me. And I don't like anything up there. So I don't do it. Although, this next project does not support that assertion. So I had some FOMO. I did have some FOMO recently about Nutiden. Basically, Emma of the Woolly Mammoth Fiber Company was wearing this absolutely gorgeous sweater in like July, which makes me so sad. I want to wear sweaters in July outside. She was knitting this beautiful sweater by LB McLaughlin. And I'd seen it once before on her podcast, and for some reason I had it in my brain that it was like it was something she'd bought. And I remember thinking, like, oh man, I wish that were a sweater she'd made and there was a pattern, because I'd love to make something like that. And then skip forward like 18 months, and it was something she made. I'm just a bad listener. And so I went to Albina McLaughlin's Ravelry page and looked for what I thought was the pattern, because I think at the time when I was looking, there weren't show notes, and I had asked, but I'm not always having consistent trains of thought. So I picked something that I thought looked like what Emma had made. And then Emma got back to me and she was like, oh, it's actually this other one. She had made a drop, which had, as the name might suggest, drop sleeves. It was lovely. I had picked, before I had heard from her, the Saglan, which is, there's a story. It has a sort of combination saddle, shoulder, and raglan, which is very interesting and also looks very lovely. They also look kind of the same. I mean that with love. They're oversized, or they can be oversized, and they have some of the same features, the high neck, big sleeves, in a good way, highly adjustable. Emma had knit hers with like 20 inches of ease or something, and it just looked so cozy. And I was trawling eBay, like you do, and I found a listing for plenty of Nutiden in this lovely, like, I don't even know why I'm bothering to hold it up. If this is what it really looks like, you're not going to get anything. But it's gray with these lovely speckles of pink and, I'm not even going to bother. Pink and yellow, and the way that it's combed when it was being milled, I assume. In some places it looks kind of purple, in some places it looks kind of green. I'm not a patron of Nutiden or Honor Ak Airs. I'm sorry. So I don't know when this one was produced. I don't even remember what it was called. It's gray. It's lovely. It smells very sheepy and happy. And so I cast on what I thought was the drop. But apparently, in my exhaustion, the child does not yet sleep through the night. In my exhaustion, I cast on the Saglan. And I got, like, 3/4 of the way through the yoke before I caught up to myself and thought, isn't this supposed to have drop shoulders? Or drop sleeves? And, listen, I'm not frogging it. I'm not frogging all this Nutiden. That's not happening. So I just kept going. And here's what I have. Oh, yeah. There we go. It's so big. I'm not going to put it on. You're just going to have to wait for that. It's so big and it's so lovely. And it's got sweet little sleeves that I did some nice ribbon on. I'm holding 2 strands together. The main fabric is done in a US 8. What that is, a 5 millimeter? 5 millimeter. It's 5 millimeter. And then the neckline ribbing and the sleeve ribbing are done in a 4, which was very easy going down that much. I mean, I probably could have even gone down to 3, but I think my small 3 circulars were otherwise engaged. So I went to a 4. And then I'm doing the bottom hem I'm doing a split hem, which is not what was in, if you can hear my dog snoring, by the way, I'm very sorry. But it is kind of cute, isn't it? I'm doing the bottom hem in the 8, in the main fabric needle, which will look different. But I have knit a couple sweaters now. A highly modified Eun sweater, E-U-N sweater. Is that the one by November? And it's also something that Emma from Woolly Mammoth Fabric Company made. Listen, I'm not here to have my own thoughts right now. I am too tired. And I made a lot of modifications on the 2 of those that I have made, and I really like them. So I'm not gonna do it different. Yeah, I am really happy with this project. I only knit it in the evenings when we have the air conditioning cranked up for bedtime. Because that is the only time of day I can stand to have it on my body. But I'm really excited for what it's going to be. I am predicting now my winter of, I'm not predicting other people's trends, I'm predicting my own trends. It is the winter of big, oversized, tunic-y sweaters and cozy. If it's not cozy, I don't want it. There. If it's not cozy, I don't want it. Yeah, so I'm really, really happy with that. Next, I am working on a Hotto, which Hotto. I don't recall whose pattern it is. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not prepared. This was a highly caffeinated idea, so it's also very half-formed. But the Hotto, my daughter got a hold of it, and she had maple cookie. And now there's maple cookie cream. Oh, no, all over it. Oh, no. Oh, it's okay. It's maple cookie cream. You're just going to have to take my word for it. But basically, you make you make a wee log cabin block, and then it's not going to look right on me because I'm much bigger than my daughter, of course. You make a log cabin block, and I'm going to make mine a little bit bigger. That's why we're going to just keep on going. And then you pick up stitches and knit a border. Then you knit a back panel. It's kind of a vest, kind of a poncho. It's very cute. Can you hear my dog? And then a little neckline. And yeah, she picked a bright orange, also a viola sock that when they were having the viola sort of closing sales, I think I just had a little moment. So we've got some viola on hand, which works out for this. This, though, none of this is viola. These were a mini skein set. Come here, guys. From Bleu Poussière. My dog just looked up at me like, what is wrong with you? It's French. Pearl. Jeez, you uncultured dog. That I had plans to design a shawl out of 100 million years ago. That didn't happen. But I have these lovely colors, and my daughter loved this orange, at least in the instant that she saw it. And yeah, so it's going to be a square with these pink and red and purple and yellow, and then an orange. I'm hoping that it is both warm and like gives a thought of like, aha, I am a light with inner flame. You know, the idea that like if you dress in warm colors, you will feel warmly. Is that possibly an idea that I just invented? Yes. Probably not. That doesn't feel like an original thought. So yeah, so I'm working on that. It is extremely hot out, so I'm not in a hurry. It also only comes in one size, and the picture of the child modeling it looks about a year younger than my daughter. I mean, she's almost 2. This kid looks about 1. So, and my daughter is a big 2-year-old, so I'm knitting mine kind of big, hopefully pretty big, in the hopes that she can wear it for more than one winter. So we'll see. Yeah, so that'll be nice to have. It'll be a nice layering item. And even if she has a sweater on, you could throw it on over the top of it. So that's my plan. Next, I have the beginnings of a sock, a 3x1 sock. Maybe I'll find somewhere different to record next time. Yep. This is Woolly Mammoth Fiber Company Natural Sock in Candlelit Banquet, I think. It's a lovely variegated color. It's kind of blue, gray, brown, blue, gray, pink, speckly. It's not doing anything here. That's okay. It's a little irritating, but that's okay. So I don't do, as you will see shortly, I don't do interesting socks. I don't. I do vanilla socks. I do extremely vanilla socks. I have only recently graduated to a new sort of heel and bottom of foot construction. Basically, oh look, I can show you with my next project. Here's another sock. This is a Sydney sock. This is what we do. We make just one stockinette sock. This is a hoe. Help me, Helen. Not Grand Co. Urso Fiber Company. Her Petite Fesse Bleu sock base, which is BFL and nylon, and it's lovely. This is so nice. I bought this many moons ago, and it's just wonderful. It's so soft. I love knitting with it. But what was I telling you? I was telling you about my heel. So, knit a big tube, slip stitch heel, nothing fancy. But then when you pick up stitches and begin doing your heel, the gusset, the decreases, I'm trying to find a way to show this to you. I just keep the slip stitches going. So if you are using Magic Loop, on the heel side, on the back side of your foot, the decreases, those 2 gussets are just in stockinette as per. But then instead of doing more stockinette once you are done turning the heel, I just keep it going onto the bottom of the foot. And I find that this is the place where I wear through my socks the most. So we'll see. It's very new. I think I have 3 pairs of socks like this. I mostly make my socks. I go into the office once a week and I work from home the rest of the week. So I mostly work on my socks when I'm on the train. It's like a 45-ish minute train ride, which is not that bad. And it's good knitting time. And I'm like far enough away from downtown that when I get on the train, there's a pick of seats. And so I can pick one with nobody next to me on my right, so I can swing my elbow as much as I want. You know you're a dedicated knitter when. But yeah, I've made a lot of sock progress like that, and I'm quite happy with it. So those are my socks. And the 3x1 rib sock, the Woolly Mammoth one, will take me time because I am not used to making a rib sock. But I love this yarn that I cannot accurately show to you. I don't know, maybe next week I'll find somewhere else to be. I love this yarn. It is so lovely. the speckles are so good and like nice and subtle, and I have a pair of black clogs that I think are going to look really, really cute in this all winter. So yeah, so I don't mind that this is going to take me some time. Or maybe it won't take me some time. I don't know. It's been years. I have made one other pair of 3x1 rib socks. And they took me like a whole year. That was not my first pair of socks, but like my second pair of socks. And I was like, oh, I'm going to do something nice, fancy. And it was awful. It was just dreadful. But that was also back when I was a self-proclaimed anti-sock maker. I did not like making socks. But I had been making them from the toe up. Not a hit, not for me. Now I make all my socks from the cuff down, and much better. And I have a full sock drawer. It's wonderful. No socks to show you today, though, because you don't need them when you're just wearing Tevas all the time. Yeah. My last work in progress is, oh good, and I'm in the middle of a row. I guess I can just work on this while I talk to you. My last work in progress, Sydney, take a breath, is a barn sweater by Emily Foden. There are like 3 things happening. Woolly Mammoth, Emily Foden from Viola, and this Nutiden happening. Whatever. I am doing my best. The barn sweater, I have made most of the patterns from Emily's Knits About Winter book. I was part of the book's test knit program back in like 2017, a million years ago. And I made the Winterberry vest, and I made the Snowdrift shawl, and I love them. And I gave my Snowdrift shawl away to my sister. I wear the Winterberry vest all the time. It's great. And yeah, I've just been working my way through the rest of the patterns. I made a soiree in like 2019. Yeah, 2019. But I haven't yet made the barn sweater. And that one has a really high neck. And it also had like a self-professed kind of weird construction. And I just have not been in the right brain space to think about that at all. Which is fine. But here we are, and I am in the right brain space. And I have this really lovely blue yarn. This is blue. I don't know what I think I'm doing. Oh, that's kind of fine. This is like a proper indigo blue, which of course is not showing up at all. Basically, you cast on, this is upside down, but you cast on the back first, and then knit, and it's not the bottom hem, it's like mid-back. There we go. You cast on, and there's this nice ribbing detail here. You cast on, you knit up, there's some short rows to give it a little shaping, you knit it to a length. You can see that it's a little stripy because I'm alternating yarn like a good girl. I'm using, this is possibly my favorite yarn, period, full stop, the end. This is Romney Merino from Oysters and Pearls, rest in peace, Oyster and Pearl Yarn Co. I have 5 skeins of this. It's a DK weight. It is just the scrummiest. It is just the most wonderful. I love this so much. I have this in the blue, which I think is Sivan, was from one of her last updates. I have this. I have a like sandy kind of beige color that I do not recall the name of, and then one skein of this really lovely like hot pinky red color. And I was going to make the Wild Mountain Time sweater again 100 million years ago. That the yarn was sampled in for Baby Cocktails. Taya? I don't remember her last name. Baby Cocktails. Wild Mountain Time was the sweater. It was like a little colorwork t-shirt. And as I was making it, I became less and less on board with the thought of a wool DK weight t-shirt. It just was not it. It is a lovely pattern. It's just not for me at the time. So I have some of this, and what I do not have is enough of the yarn to make this barn sweater. I do not have enough, by like a lot. So Sydney, why are you still making a sweater? Sydney, why are you making a size with considerable ease when you don't even have the right yarn? Excellent question. Love to hear it. So if you were to look at the barn sweater, it does have a pretty high neckline, and I have figured out it's not that hard. I figured out how to make my adjustments to make it not that much, which will save me some yarn from the neckline. And I saw evidence in the projects, in the Barn Sweaters project pages, that other people have knit versions that are slightly cropped with yarn to spare. So there's a 10%, like, in addition to what most people knit the sweater with, there's like a 10% recommendation for most patterns, so that you're not caught unawares, and to, kind of to keep in mind people's unique knitting tendencies. And I have one skein of Woolly Mammoth Fiber Company, BFL Massam. I think it's a Massam. It's one of her old blends in a DK weight in a very, very, very similarly dyed indigo. So similar that I kept pulling it out of my stash thinking that it was one of these skeins. It is very obviously different. Romney Merino and BFL Massam they look very different. But the dye is very similar. And so I'm thinking, when I get to, you knit it from the back and then over the shoulder, and then you've got like the top piece and like a little bit of shoulder ease, because the shoulders are kind of drop shoulder on this barn sweater. And then you pick up stitches and you knit in the round for the rest of the body down to the bottom hem. So I'm thinking the bottom of the body is going to be the best place to put some alternate yarn. And then, but I think, I'm going to finish the top in this Oysters and Pearls, then knit the sleeves, and then probably do the collar, and then knit the rest of the body with whatever I've got left, and just yarn chicken it till kingdom come. And then I think I will have done the most with the least. Yeah, that's the plan. Albina McLaughlin, LB Handknit, Albina McLaughlin has a really lovely newsletter that I love getting on Thursdays. I so look forward to it. And one of her more recent newsletters was about knitting for your fantasy self and knitting for your real life self. So if you, like me, also wear a lot of bike shorts and t-shirts, and you hate knitting with plant fibers, then there is not much reason, Sydney, to ever buy silk blend yarn. Just stop doing it. Just stop doing it, Sydney. And I have. But it also means that I am letting go of the idea of ever having like a lot of light and airy knit t-shirts. I have tried so many, and I just hate knitting with plant fibers so much. They have so little elasticity, and they hurt my hands, and it does not spark joy. So I don't do it. So I spend my summers making socks, and now toddler hats, and working on big sweaters that I will wear all winter long. And this blue is something that I will wear all winter long, and I'm really stoked about. Same with the gray. Yeah, those are my colors. I don't know. And this purple's pretty great too. I do wear this, and I do love this, but this is like, you can't wear this on a hot day. I don't want to. I don't want to sweat in this. I mean, for the yarn's sake and for my sake. I've made a couple of Jessie Maids patterns, one ripple bralette and then one ripple tank. And those are fine, but I've made them in like sock blend yarns, so they're still very woolly. They're not things to wear when the weather's very hot. So, letting go of my fantasy self, who has all the knits you could ever dream of, and coming back down to reality, wherein I knit for fall and winter. Yeah, that's what I do. I knit for fall and winter and socks. But I'm happy with what I've made, and I'm happy to have a toddler who will wear just about anything I put on her, which is very convenient. And maybe next time, once I figure out where the lighting is decent in this apartment, I will show you some of the things that I've made for her since I got my Knitting Mojo back. Yeah, I have a lot more whips. These are just the things that are active and also were within reach when I decided to do this. Yeah, but I am trying to tame myself a little from just is it cast-on-itis? Is that what we call it? Just cast-on craze. Feeling a little frenzied, which is my tendency. Anyway, it's been lovely. Happy Monday. I hope you have a wonderful week. And yeah, hopefully, I just realized you will not see me next week because I have to go on a work retreat. But maybe another day, you will see me. Hopefully the Monday after that. Okay. Bye.